obviously, just be prepared for that this morning. Hurts the eyes just a little bit to look at. All right, we'll switch gears real quick. I think door number 3. Take us back over. Yeah, there we go. There's the sunset coming in from Bethany. Right now, you're driving from Hillsborough, one of our slower commutes at just shy of 30 minutes. And a reminder, of course, the Morrison Bridge with ongoing repeated bridge lifts today for annual inspection. Those bridge lifts lasting upwards of 20 minutes each time. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. An old building getting some new life. How an open house is hoping to get entrepreneurs to open their businesses.
I'm David Mulco, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Now to renewed life for a building in Old Town. A nonprofit is turning the former Airbnb office at First and Cooch into a business incubator. Organizers with Feed the Mass held an open house yesterday, inviting people to check out 4 floors of office space decorated with themed meeting spaces, hammocks, and multiple kitchens. Feed the Mass is hoping entrepreneurs will catch a glimpse and want to join their mission to revitalize the neighborhood.
Our focus is we want to start changing that reputation, and the way we do that is by bringing people into the space, bringing community, bringing family, and the more foot traffic of good things happening, I feel like good things are going to change in this community.
Feed the Mass is hoping to get 20 to 30 businesses and community groups signed up for the space by the end of March. To the coast now, where a logger near Seaside had to be airlifted to a Portland hospital after a log rolled on top of them. This was along Highway 26 just after noon yesterday. The logging crew was able to free the worker and meet first responders at a rest area. No word on the logger's condition.
And speaking of coastal rescues, a rare and endangered turtle was stuck in Canada this winter. Juliana Grillo tells us how a team is helping Lucky get back to warmer waters.
Hypothermic, weak, and emaciated. That's how Lucky the juvenile sea turtle was found in Digby back in the fall, when it is far too late and far too cold for her to swim back south. She's a Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, a species so endangered that it experienced a 90% population decline in the last 75 years. These turtles travel north to feed in the summer, and then back to their warm Caribbean waters in the rest of the year. After months of specialized care at the Atlantic Veterinary College in PEI, Lucky is traveling to the Bahamas. But it's not as easy as just booking a ticket.
So you need a lot of permits. You're not allowed to just move endangered species across international borders. The United States government had gone into its shutdown when Lucky first arrived, which means that this just wasn't a viable option in this case, and we had to look at different possibilities. And we were thrilled that Bahamas was willing to take Lucky. It's at Atlantis Paradise Island, which is a resort that's pretty well known, I think, in our area, but also has this amazing animal care facility and rehabilitation facility.
Martin is traveling with Lucky's veterinarian. They carried bags with small heaters, blankets, and other things to keep this tropical animal cozy.
Initially, the plan was to get in the vehicle, travel directly from Charlottetown to Halifax, and get on a plane, but the snowstorm made that a big challenge. So we actually had to come a full day early and then figure out how to logistically care for an aquatic sea turtle in a hotel environment. As you can imagine, that faced lots of challenges. And so we brought that type of salt I mentioned that's specific for aquatic species, and we mixed that in a bathtub full of water. But even little things like making sure we clean and disinfect the tub so there's no residue, for example, from previous shampoo or body lotions and things like that that might have been in it. Those things are all details we take into account.
When Lucky arrives, a team in Atlantis Paradise Island, Bahamas will take her to her new temporary home. She will stay in the Wildlife Center in quarantine for a month until she's cleared to be released.
Well, coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with a scam warning out of Washington.
Yeah, how police say criminals are posing as law enforcement officials to trick you out of your money, and the one thing to listen for to spot a scammer. I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
We are coming up on 7:59 on your Thursday morning drive. A couple of slow spots out there, as you would expect it just before 8 o'clock. There's one of them, I-5 southbound up near the Expo Center. We've cleared out the drive on the Vancouver side of the Interstate Bridge, but the lineup starts right about here. So we put that all together. The trip from Hazeldale down to the Fremont's about 21 minutes. On the west side, man, bring your welder's mask this morning. That is 217 out near Greenberg Road. It's bright, it's sunny, it's a little slow as well on the Sunset. 30 minutes right now. I'll get you in from Hillsboro. Rod?
It's a nice morning. Salem has kind of been the epicenter, parts of Salem anyway, of fog, but really the coast and Portland and much of our state, really gorgeous weather. Here's Depot Bay looking at downtown 101. That's from the Channel House right near the harbor there. Beautiful day. The coast will be up into the mid-50s. There's the early morning sun over Portland, 37 degrees. I have us warming to 47 at noon and then up to about 53 for a high. And our 7-day still shows all dry weather with pleasant temperatures through the weekend, and then rain returning Wednesday of next week.
Now on Sunrise, 8 survivors coming forward as they file a lawsuit alleging decades of sexual abuse at a local detention facility. We have more information in a live report.
Plus, a dramatic rescue caught on camera. A skier buried in deep snow saved by 2 others passing by. How it happened and how the skier is doing ahead at 8:45. Also coming up.
I'm more capable than the average person when I'm on the mountain skiing.
We are still keeping a close eye on Italy because the Winter Paralympics are set to start next week. We have more on the journey for 2 local Paralympians as KGW News at Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Happy Thursday, everyone. Rod Hill, Chris McGinnis standing by with a look at weather and traffic, and both pretty smooth, but a little fog there, Rod.
Yeah, this is our fog epicenter this morning. You can't see the state capitol, absolutely as foggy as it was 24 hours ago down in Salem. Temperature has been right around freezing at 33, but that's the only camera in our network that shows any significant fog. Coming into Portland, we have been fog free, and in fact, as you can see, it's mostly sunny and really off to what will continue to be a beautiful day. 37 out there right now. We'll be 47 degrees at noon. I have the high getting up to about 53, probably still 50 at 5 o'clock. And the weekend forecast still looks nice. Your 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Looks good, Rod. Thank you. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. The roads are, in some cases, a little slow out there this morning. Come on, wait for it, wait for it. There we go. There's I-5 through North Portland. That southbound commute hits the brakes right around the Expo Center. I can zoom in basically south of the Interstate Bridge. So we've cleared out the Clark County side of things, but once you cross the bridge, we're slow and go. 22 minutes get you in from Main Street down to the Fremont. Elsewhere on the freeway system, there's a look at the Banfield out near 82nd Avenue. That drive getting a little thick as well. And the west side commute, if you're heading south on 217 right now, I mean, it's a blinding sunshine out there. Same story for the inbound Sunset. And with that in mind, the drive from Hillsborough has jumped up to just shy of 30 minutes. Matthew, China?
Chris, thank you. Developing this morning in Clark County, a lawsuit alleges decades of widespread sexual abuse in the county's Juvenile Justice Center.
The abuse is alleged to have happened over almost 40 years. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us in the newsroom. So Thomas, walk us through this lawsuit.
Yeah, well, guys, an attorney for the survivors says they never met, but their stories of abuse are very similar. The new civil lawsuit claims the victims were detained at the Clark County Juvenile Justice Center as children from 1978 to 2014. It alleges detention staff members used their power to groom, threaten, and sexually abuse the kids. Plaintiffs say in some cases they were sexually assaulted during strip searches or isolated in supply closets or other blind spots. They say staff members threatened to harm victims to silence them. When victims tried to speak up, the lawsuit alleges they were ignored.
Just based on the similarities of abuse and the countless youth who have gone through the youth correction facility, I have to imagine that there's others out there who maybe they've held this their entire lives, haven't told anybody.
We reached out to Clark County for a statement. They said they do not comment on pending litigation. We also followed up to ask about a person named in the lawsuit who appears to still work for juvenile detention. We didn't hear back on that request. Matthew.
Thomas Schultz live in the newsroom. Thomas, thank you. A Gresham man has been arrested for allegedly distributing child sex abuse material and making homemade explosives. Yesterday, police served a search warrant at a home on Southeast 19th Street after receiving tips that the suspect, 44-year-old Zachary Lawson, was involved in the distribution of sexually explicit images and videos of children. While serving the search warrant, officers found multiple homemade explosive devices. Lawson faces multiple charges, including encouraging child sex abuse, possession of child pornography, and unlawful manufacturing of a destructive device. And a reminder that if you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, know that help is always available 24/7. You can call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-4673.
Now to other local headlines. Portland officers got quite the surprise when responding to a car that crashed into a cement mailbox Tuesday night. The man behind the wheel near Northeast 139th and East Burnside was unconscious, and when they pulled him out, police say they found a small arsenal in the car, including 2 unregistered AR-15 style rifles, ammunition, and drugs. The driver now faces a list of charges, including 5 counts of being a felon and possession of a firearm. In Washington, scammers are using public jail records to target innocent victims. A woman from Stanwood, which is north of Seattle, says someone posing as a law enforcement officer used public records to find out her relative had recently been arrested. Now, that part was true, but the rest of the scammer story was not. He told the woman that her relative could be released if she paid a refundable $1,500 deposit for an ankle bracelet. Now, luckily, she sensed that something was off and hung up.
Anybody in law enforcement, we will never ask for money over the phone. And that is the very first indicator that people should recognize that it's a fraud.
The Federal Trade Commission says last year more than 15,000 people in Washington state alone lost over $86 million to scammers.
Meanwhile, state senators unanimously passed a bill that cracks down on so-called speculative ticketing for things like concerts and sporting events. The bill effectively bans people or websites from advertising selling tickets they don't actually have. Governor Tina Kotek will now decide whether to sign it into law.
Happening today, the Portland Police Bureau is celebrating Ramadan. Portland Police Muslim Advisory Council is hosting its 6th annual iftar event, breaking the fast for the evening meal during a month of fasting and prayer. Now, these photos are from last year's event. Police Chief Bob Day and Mayor Keith Wilson will join members of the Muslim community to celebrate. Breakfast is getting a fresh makeover in local cafeterias this spring. Chartwell's K-12 is launching its new Bloom into Breakfast program.
Yeah, it's combining student favorite breakfast foods with new flavors and flexible options. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson is live from Burton Elementary School in Vancouver with a look at what they're cooking up this morning. Good morning, Corey.
Yeah, good morning, Matthew, China. That's right. It's a new school cafeteria initiative, Bloom into Breakfast, and it's launched by Chartwell's K-12, the food service provider for Evergreen Public Schools and thousands of districts really nationwide. Now, I'm here with Chef Chris and Melinda with Chartwell's. Can you talk about the menu and more about the program? What's going on?
Sure. So Blooming into Breakfast is, we're showcasing this because it is a way for them to eat a hot breakfast versus a cold breakfast. And today, I want to introduce the pancake donut bite with the blueberry and strawberry compote with the yogurt drizzled on top.
Oh, that looks delicious. And I mean, as far as how many students are served, can you talk about how far these breakfasts span?
So we serve here at this particular school between 120 and 140 students, and this is one of their favorite breakfasts, and so we get a little more, about 60% participation, which is really great because the kids get a nice healthy breakfast and they're ready to be, pay attention and learn all they can.
Now, Chef Chris, this is one of the more popular menu items, the pancake donut bites and blueberries and strawberries. Talk about some other things while we grab some to even try. Talk about some other things on the menu that you have planned.
So, along with the pancake donut bites, which is a really big hit, they love the French toast with sausage, with the syrup. They love that a lot. Oh, did you want to grab a bite?
Let's try
and
some.
See here, here's your fork.
You said they love the
French toast and the sausage. They also like breakfast sandwiches with bacon and cheese. That's one of their favorites.
That sounds good.
You want to dig in with me here? Okay. Oh.
I have the mic too, so I got to
okay.
be careful.
I'll hold it. There you go.
I'm a righty.
You're gonna take
okay. We're struggling. We're struggling. That's really good. Oh my gosh, when I was a kid, I didn't have school breakfast lunches like this.
Oh no, neither did I. We didn't even have breakfast.
Well, we're going to stay here and enjoy this for a little bit. I'll send it back to you.
That's a good point. Thank you very much, Corey. That's a good point. We didn't have breakfast either. We just had like lunch and it was like frozen fish sticks or frozen pizza. Right?
My memories of our school lunches were all thumbs up. I know in high school we had two hot choices. One was always your basic hamburger, hot dog, or fries. That was there every day. And then the other one was where the entree of the day was. But I remember it being good. Really
the good old days.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, of course, I will eat anything. So here's a look at our visibility map this morning. Big change from 24 hours ago. No fog coming into Portland. Visibility when the visibility map shows 10 miles of visibility, that's code for unlimited. That's as good as the map shows. And then when you get down to 0.25, a quarter or less, that's considered dense fog. And obviously 0 speaks for itself. And from that fog report in Salem, we go to our live camera in Salem where you cannot see the state capitol. This is positioned in front of the mall. So that is really foggy, but it's the only spot showing any organized widespread fog at all this morning. 33 is your number. You come into Portland, it's just lovely. We have not had fog. We are sunny. We will be sunny throughout the day. 37 is the number out at PDX. And also in downtown, West Lynn sharing that number of 37 degrees. Forest Grove is freezing, but generally you have to get down in the Mid-Valley to find the 32-degree spots. Aurora, McMinnville, Almsville, Albany all reporting 32 degrees. With some frost and obviously some fog areas. This goes on to be lovely. You folks in Salem will clear out for afternoon sunshine. This shows you getting up to about 52, pretty similar to yesterday. 53 in Tillamook, mid-50s in Central Oregon, and mid-50s out in LeGrand today as well. And out in Baker City, 51 with beautiful sunshine. We are still featuring a really nice 7-day forecast through the weekend. 54, 56 Saturday and Sunday. We're still up to 60. If we don't do it Monday, we certainly will Tuesday. And then we have rain returning Wednesday of next week. And here is Chris McGinnis.
Spring fever. All right, let's take you down to Marion County. So Rod showed you that shot from the state capitol, which is a little west of this vantage point, actually south and west here. Fog may be quite thick in downtown Salem, but it's actually lifted significantly over the freeway. This camera not too long ago was pretty socked in, but we're looking a little bit better. That's up between Salem and Brooks. All right, let's get to the north side of Portland. I-5 southbound, still a little thick here from basically Delta Park down into the Rose Quarter. And then last but not least, over on the west side, it is a blinding freeway drive here on, this is actually 217, that southbound commute looking right into the sunrise. Right now, Highway 26 inbounds about 30 minutes from Hillsborough. A reminder, in downtown, and if you use I-5 anywhere near the Morrison Bridge, this may also create some backups there as well. The county doing annual bridge inspection of the Morrison Bridge. That means numerous bridge lifts today, lasting upwards of 15 to 20 minutes at a time. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm more capable than the average person when I'm on the mountain skiing. So it gave me complete freedom to do what I want. And being in a wheelchair, it's super fun to get out there and rip around.
After the break, we're catching up with two local athletes as they make their way to the Paralympics in Italy.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
While the Olympics have come and gone, the action in Milan Cortina is not over yet, with the Paralympics starting next week.
And two Oregonians are set to hit the slopes as part of the U.S. Paralympic ski team. Catherine Cook spoke with both of them.
We just got to Salt Lake City.
A pit stop on the road to Cortina for downhill skiers Anna Sowens and Ravi Drugan.
The Olympics are over, but the Paralympics are just beginning.
Both Oregonians qualified in all 5 alpine ski events in next week's Paralympics.
Sure, we're considered the best in the world, but there's no reason anyone else can't make it here and do that. And that's, Anna being here this year is just proof of that.
10 years ago, Anna broke her back falling at an indoor rock climbing gym in Portland. Her injuries changed her life, but she refused to let them hold her back. In 2018, Anna became the first paraplegic woman to summit Mount Hood. Since then, she's been helping others with physical disabilities know that they too can set the bar as high as they want to.
It can be tiresome if you hear day after day, oh, you're such an inspiration for just going grocery shopping or putting your wheelchair in your car. But there are people doing really exceptional things, and I think it's important to get that message out.
Growing up in Eugene, Ravi dreamed of making it to the X Games on a skateboard. When he was 14, he lost his legs above the knee after getting hit by a train. Wanting his son to stay active, Ravi's dad signed him up for a ski trip in Bend through Oregon Adaptive Sports. He never looked back, just forward, on skis, around 70 miles an hour.
Let's go, Robert! I'm more capable than the average person when I'm on the mountain skiing. So it gave me complete freedom to do what I want. And being in a wheelchair, it's super fun to get out there and rip around.
Both athletes are grateful for those who'll be watching them back home.
Hopefully winning.
Chasing their dreams in front of the world.
Team USA.
I think they have their first events on Saturday, I believe, on Peacock. So check those out.
Right.
Be rooting for them.
There's a lot of sports on Peacock. Well, we watch Peacock a lot because it has the ice skating competitions, figure skating throughout the year. So it's often on. We'll be watching some of that
They
too.
got a lot of European soccer that I watch on there. So yeah, so they do got a lot.
I just watched Dateline on it.
You're such a news
Big
person.
sports gal.
Here's a look at our outlook. This is not for the entirety of March, technically, but it kind of is, if you will. Technically, it's from the dates of March 7th through the 20th from NOAA. And two things to point out. Number one, it's showing much of the country, not us, but much of the country in the above normal category, which means NOAA, I would assume, is going, we don't see any big Arctic outbreaks next month, which would be unusual if you look at the last several months. And then also, I want to show you that we are the bullseye of the highest confidence for above normal precipitation. And that would be good because if we have a normal temperature month, which we may, and we add decent precip with it, then you would make the conclusion that we will have our fair share of systems dumping snow at pass level over the Cascades. Remember, we took our snowpack this month of February from 28-29% normal. We got it up at least to 39% normal. Now, if we could do that again, a 10% jump, we'd be up to 50% normal. So we'll see if we can make it. In the meantime, forecast is easy peasy. We are in the split flow. We're in the middle with weather systems to our north and to our south, and we still have a dry forecast all the way through the weekend. This is Futurecast. We'll be watching these clouds mainly to our north overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. During the day, we're great. And then as we go into Saturday, now we're watching the other direction. Clouds potentially coming up from the south during the day. And this does show for your weekend planning, maybe some rain as far north as Eugene. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Our coastal cameras all showing some really nice conditions. This is showing mostly clear skies. Temperature is 37 degrees. That actually matches what we have here in Portland. Not foggy, but low cloudiness driving over the interstate bridge out of Vancouver or vice versa from our Vancouver to the Springs at the waterfront camera. And not freezing, 39 degrees is the temperature. Here are the other numbers. It's 37 in Kelso, Portland. Salem is cooler with that fog we showed you. Eugene, 33. Chris McGinnis reporting moments ago that some of the fog down in Marion County is starting to lift. 28 in Bend, and then we got 27 in Baker City and Burns this morning. Everybody's going to be dry, and for the most part, if you have fog, you'll lose it, and you'll get mostly sunny skies. In fact, modeling shows you folks in Salem having sunshine develop with a high of 54. 54 in Battleground as well. Northwest winds today 5 to 15. Here's the dry 7-day, 53 today, tomorrow, mid-50s for the weekend, nearing 60 on Monday. If we don't hit 60 on Monday, we will on Tuesday. And there's the next chance of rain coming in midweek on Wednesday of next week. Here's Chris.
How awesome is that? All right, let's get you back down to Marion County. Yeah, Rod, I did mention fog may be lifting a little bit. This camera looks better now than it did, say, 45 minutes ago. But as we go a little farther south, down towards Kubler Boulevard, it looks like there still is some pretty good fog. And I bring that up because down in the Sunnyside area, south side of Salem. It looks like there is a crash on I-5 southbound, so traffic running a little thick southbound once you get around Kubler Boulevard. Back up to the north, I-5 out of Clark County has cleared out, and the drive up near the Expo Center also improving, so significant improvements on that side of town. Over on the west side, bright sun glare. That's 217 over near Greenberg Road. Right now, the northbound drive from I-5 to Highway 26 running along at about 14 minutes. Matthew, China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. U.S. officials launching an investigation after Cuba says their army killed 4 people on a Florida boat. What we know so far about the deadly confrontation ahead.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. News reports about our community. I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Developing this morning, tensions between the United States and Cuba are escalating after a deadly confrontation at sea.
Cuban officials say a U.S. registered speedboat violated their territorial waters, kicking off an armed confrontation with Cuban border guard troops. Gabe Gutierrez has the latest.
Overnight, new accusations from the Cuban government after a deadly gunfight in Caribbean waters left 4 people dead, sparking fears of a new escalation between the U.S. and Cuba. Secretary of State Marco Rubio skeptical of Cuba's version of events.
It is highly unusual to see shootouts in open sea like that. But we're going to find out. We're not going to base our conclusions on what they've told us.
The Cuban Interior Ministry says 4 people were killed and 6 injured after Cuba's Border Patrol intercepted a speedboat that was registered in Florida. In a new statement overnight, the Cuban government says the boat's passengers were Cuban residents of the United States and accuses the passengers of intending to carry out an infiltration for terrorist purposes. Adding assault rifles, Molotov cocktails, and other weapons were seized.
We obviously want to have access to these people if they are American citizens or U.S. residents. But I'm not going to speculate now because right now still a lot of the information that's out there is information that's been provided by the Cubans.
The shootout happened off the island's northwest coast Wednesday morning. According to Cuban officials, their border patrol approached the boat and attempted to ask the passengers for ID, but they opened fire and Cuban officers shot back.
Con matrícula de la Florida.
Cuban television says one of the country's border patrol commanders was injured and that Cuba will protect its territorial waters.
That region of the world was just like a powder cake, right? Could blow up at any time.
Tensions with the communist country just 90 miles off the Florida coast already high as President Trump has ramped up pressure in recent weeks.
Cuba is right now a failed nation.
Fuel shortages have devastated Cuba's economy, with the U.S. blocking virtually all oil shipments to the island following the American capture of Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro.
I believe vaccines save lives. I believe that vaccines are a key part of any infectious disease public health strategy.
That's wellness influencer Dr. Casey Means in her Senate confirmation hearing talking about her stance on childhood vaccines. The 38-year-old is President Donald Trump's nominee for Surgeon General.
Means received her MD from Stanford but dropped out of her residency at OHSU in 2018, later calling the healthcare system broken. And Means was a campaign advisor for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. during his presidential bid and an architect of his Make America Healthy Again agenda. And yesterday, Dr. Means told senators that she is not against vaccines, but she does have questions about the vaccine schedule.
But would you encourage mothers to vaccinate their children with the MMR vaccine, seeing how we've had children die and this outbreak in South Carolina?
I'm supportive of vaccination. I do believe that each patient, mother, parent needs to have a conversation with their pediatrician about any medication they're putting in their body or their children's bodies.
When asked about vaccines and autism, Means did not say that she believes there's a link, but also didn't rule it out, saying that the science is never settled.
Portland Public Schools once again facing a multi-million-dollar budget shortfall, and that's on top of next year's $50 million deficit. What the district plans to do to try and fill the hole. And the FDA has issued a major recall on frozen blueberries from a local company, but if you shop at regular grocery stores, you likely don't need to be too concerned right now. We'll bring you those details at 8:30.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Good morning, I'm Matthew Herchick. The FDA has issued a life-threatening recall for 55,000 pounds of frozen blueberries from an Oregon-based company. It's important to note that the FDA says the blueberries were not sold directly to consumers at grocery stores and did not specify where exactly the berries were sold. The Oregon Potato Company first recalled the products on February 12th because of bacteria contamination and has now upgraded it to a Class 1 recall, indicating a risk of serious illness or death. Over to Rod now for a look at the weather.
Thank you for that, Matthew. We have a beautiful day. We do have fog down in Marion County, but really nothing up here in the North Valley, and not seeing fog out in wine country this morning either. This is the Chehalem tasting room in Sherwood, and there's our Rose City camera. Portland never saw fog this morning. Just been beautifully sunny. 37 is the current number. We'll be 47 at noon. We'll get up to about 53 for a high. And yes, your weekend plans are still a go as dry weather continues into the first of next week. I have mid-50s over the weekend. 61 on Tuesday, and rain returning Wednesday of next week.
Good morning. The Whopper is getting a makeover. For the first time in nearly a decade, Burger King is changing up the iconic burger. The chain is tweaking the bun, mayo, and packaging after years of complaints about burgers getting smashed and falling apart. The new Whopper will now come on a premium bun with creamier mayo and served inside a clamshell box instead of a paper wrapping. The new and improved Whopper will be rolled out to more than 7,000 restaurants starting next week.
So the type of packaging the Big Mac has been using for years?
Yeah, that sums that up. I get a Whopper occasionally. I think it's a good burger.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with the bun. The one place I do have a problem with the bun. I love you guys, but you need a better bun, and that's Five Guys. And I know other people have said the same thing. The bun falls apart while you're eating it.
Yeah.
The burger.
Yeah.
I've never had a Whopper in my life, and this set off like a whole chain of conversations.
There you go.
I've never had one in my life.
I've never had a Big Mac. I had a Whopper, but I never had a Big Mac.
So there you go.
What's the difference?
Big Mac's got like the Thousand Island dressing. It's
got the catchy song.
Oh, it's the bougie one. Okay.
The biggest problem with the Big Mac, and I'm a McDonald's guy, but the big problem with the Big Mac is all it has is lettuce and 2 pickles. And
take the pickles off.
Hydrated onions. It doesn't have that much on it. The Whopper's got fresh lettuce, fresh tomato, fresh big onion slice.
Why it's the king.
Okay, this is your fast food moment of the day. Right. And if you are curious, if you need to know anything about fast food, I'm your guy. Okay. All right, here's our Timberline Lodge camera. Looking at Mount Jefferson, we've got sunshine up on the hill. It's actually clear blue last time I looked over the summit. This is looking south at Jefferson. It's 28 degrees up there. Improving. You can now see there's a Capitol building there. That's our one foggy camera in our network here at KGW that we've been showing this morning, right about freezing. Portland never had fog. It will just be sunny all day moving forward. We're at 37. I was 47 at noon. Getting up to about 53. Wind direction today is northwest 5 to 15. And it strikes you as you look at this map, look at the forecast temperatures at 4 p.m. LeGrand 53, Bend 53, Salem 53, North Bend 53. Not hardly any variance across our state with a partly to mostly sunny forecast coming. And we're not going to change it much through the weekend either. 53 today, tomorrow, mid-50s over the weekend. Saturday's the day we're looking at the potential of getting some cloudiness coming up from the south, but we will stay dry. And then we're nearing 60, maybe hitting it on Monday, certainly hitting it Tuesday. Right now we've got rain returning in the forecast Wednesday of next week. One more thing. Surprisingly good. The chili at Wendy's, surprisingly good. All right, Chris.
When I was a kid, we went to Wendy's because we somehow thought it was healthier than, in any event. The chili probably is healthy for you. All right, let's get you south of town. This is I-5 down in Marion County where Rod mentioned the fog. Near Kubler Boulevard, so that southbound commute is starting to back up. There is a crash now reported near Delaney Road, and so there is one lane blocked, and that southbound commute is running a little thick. Outside of that, we really haven't had any major freeway trouble this morning, minus the blinding sun glare. How about that for your southbound commute on 217? Meanwhile, the northbound commute's slow and go anyway. 18 minutes gets you between the interchanges and the rest of the freeway system. We are in full swing out there, but no unexpected delays for this point of a Thursday morning. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. The FDA has issued a life-threatening recall for 55,000 pounds of frozen blueberries from an Oregon-based company.
It's important to note here that the FDA says the blueberries were not sold directly to consumers at grocery stores and not exactly specific on where the berries were sold, but the Oregon Potato Company first recalled the products on February 12th and has now upgraded it to a Class 1 recall, indicating a risk of serious illness or death. Officials say the fruit may be contaminated with bacteria that can cause severe symptoms such as headaches, loss of balance, convulsions, and can be life-threatening for some people. The Oregon Potato Company also owns the Willamette Valley Fruit Company in Salem. Portland Public Schools says it's now facing a $10 million shortfall for this year's budget.
That's on top of the major deficit they were already facing for next year. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson takes a closer look.
Well, PPS was already facing a $50 million deficit for next year, and now a letter from district leadership details a $10 million budget gap for the remainder of this fiscal year. Now, PPS says this unexpected budget gap is due to higher than expected safety and transportation costs, as well as unanticipated costs from federal lawsuits and a decline in tax revenue due to falling commercial property values. Now, the district says it plans to pause spending in all budgets, tighten spending on substitutes and overtime, and also cancel a professional development day set for March.
As we see cut after cut after cut, it's hard to hang on to that because people are scared. People are nervous about their jobs, their livelihood.
The district had already proposed cutting 300 full-time positions to make up for next year's shortfall, but according to district leaders, they say those cuts might happen sooner. Back to you.
There's every reason to stay here.
Portlanders rallied to save downtown's Keller Auditorium. The city is considering closing the Keller and focusing on building a new performing arts venue on the Portland State campus. Supporters say they believe renovating the Keller is the best choice because amenities like parking, hotels, and restaurants already exist around that location. If a large-scale auditorium was built where PSU wants it, those amenities would also need to be built. But a city commission market study found that Portland could not adequately support both of the venues, meaning the original plan to open the new venue and renovate the Keller appears unlikely. We spoke to the owner of Murata Japanese restaurant, which is right next to the Keller. She says if the auditorium closes, her business would suffer.
On show days, it's really our moneymaker nights. We are just packed with reservations. We're fully reserved on show days.
PSU says it would like to see both sites flourish. Mayor Keith Wilson emphasized that no final decisions have been made.
Oregon Republicans are calling on Democrats to stop their effort to put transportation taxes on the ballot this May instead of November. Wednesday was the deadline the Secretary of State recommended for the bill to be passed to give voters enough time to submit arguments for the voter pamphlet. Though technically it doesn't have to be a done deal until the end of the session, which is March 8th. The bill, which already passed the Senate, is scheduled for a third hearing in the House today. Meantime, a bill passed by the Oregon House would unhook Oregon from federal tax credits passed under President Donald Trump.
The move would free up more than $300 million in the budget. One Republican lawmaker says he'll refer this idea to voters. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is in studio this morning. Thomas, how does this work?
Look, guys, most of Oregon's tax code automatically tracks changes to federal taxes. So when congressional Republicans extended and expanded major tax cuts last year, Oregon's tax breaks got bigger too. That move blew a hole in Oregon's state budget, and here's the catch. While the federal government can run up a deficit, states cannot. They have to balance the budget. So Oregon is down to two choices here: hike revenue or slash spending. This plan would help plug a budget gap of more than $300 million. Democratic Representative Nancy Nathanson says, quote, "We're choosing to invest in people who live and work here while maintaining school funding, keeping communities safe, and making health care accessible." Across the aisle, State Representative and GOP Governor candidate Ed Deal threatens a referendum showdown and plans to take the fight directly to voters. On Wednesday, he said in part, quote, "Oregonians are taxed to the limit while government spending has nearly doubled in 10 years, far exceeding inflation and population growth." Deal adds this bill would cut jobs and harm Oregon families. Now, if Deal wins his referendum fight, that bill will go directly to voters. And in May, as you just heard, Oregonians are already set to hit the polls for a referendum vote on that huge transportation package that also includes significant tax hikes. Matthew.
Thomas Schultz live in studio this morning. Thomas, thank you. Meanwhile, this has to be the craziest video of the week, at least so far. Watch this as two drivers in Omaha got a scare when the ground just opened up beneath them, nearly swallowing their cars whole. Witnesses rushed into action, working to haul the person in the SUV out of the hole, while the driver of that silver pickup truck was able to climb out of the vehicle and climb across the front himself. Now, two trucks then got to work pulling the cars out. Nobody, amazingly, was hurt. Officials say an underground water leak likely caused the pavement to give way.
Your time now is 8:39. Headed over to Rod Hill for a...
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We got to give him time to walk up to the roof.
Good night.
Hopefully this doesn't happen on any of our roadways today, Chris.
No, let's hope not. My goodness, that is scary. All right, the drive out there this morning. Let's zip around, give you a little tour of the freeway system. I-5 near PCC Sylvania, near Breeze Hill. This is near Capitol Highway. Your I-5 commute, a little slow, of course, from there up through the Twilliger curves, moving along at about 15 miles an hour or so. Sun glare as you come in from the west side, from Cedar Mill and then up towards the Sylvan Hill Drive, moving there at about 11 miles an hour. Right now, at last check, we've been holding steady here, about 28 minutes or so to get folks in from Hillsborough. And last but not least, the drive through North Portland. The lineup is back. We had cleared this out a little bit ago, but it's back. I-5 up near the Expo Center is still pretty thick. 23 minutes now gets you in from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge. China?
All right, thank you, Chris. It is every skier's worst nightmare and extremely dangerous being buried in deep snow. How one skier luckily made it out thanks to two men passing by.
Hey everybody, here at ShopTVDeals.com, we love to bring you products out there that are actually going to make your life better. Let's keep it real. All of us have our entire lives on the phone these days. All those videos, all those photos, all of those memories, and you don't want to lose it because of a lost phone or a storage issue. So check this out. A small but mighty device, the Click-Free Pro. It's so easy to use. Let me show you what to do. First, you download an app on the phone. Just takes a minute or two, super easy. Then you connect the device to your phone. It has all kinds of adapters here, so no matter what you have, you should be good. You open that app, and literally, with one touch, you start backing up all of those photos, which is a big help for people like me, because I got 15,000 photos in this thing. Also, not just about storage here. Think about all those old photos in your home, whether it's in an album like this, or just photos in a shoebox somewhere. There's a scan function on this app as well. So you literally can take one of those old pictures, use the app, scan it, and you'll never lose that image again. This does so much. It's absolutely amazing. No membership fees, no subscriptions, so it's super easy and will save you a lot of problems. And on top of that, 50% off. We have an amazing deal. Normally this would cost you $200. Today you get it for less than $100. So scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen or check us out online at ShopTVDeals.com. Back up those photos now. Don't lose it.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. Streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
A dramatic rescue captured on camera as two men are being credited with saving another skier's life.
They found the skier buried in deep snow at Palisades Tahoe ski area last week and jumped into action. Peyton Headley reports.
These were the conditions at Palisades Tahoe on February 18th.
It's what every skier dreams of.
After a 7-hour drive from Sacramento, Carson Schmidt and his friend finally made it to the mountain for their first run of the day.
That's deep.
Then something stopped them in their tracks.
Hey, they good?
A skier buried in the snow.
I see ski tips, and next thing you know, you just kind of go into go mode and just dig him out till you can find his face. He was in total shock. Like, all he wanted to find was his wife.
You okay? You okay? Oh, you okay? Hold on for a second.
He said the man was blue when they got him out and didn't know how long he'd been buried, but was able to ski away to find his wife.
Deep snow, it's the great equalizer.
Schmidt said that terrain is pretty advanced and the deep snow only emphasized that. He's hoping this reminds everyone to be safe on the slopes.
Everybody needs to be aware when you go out in that deep of snow. You need to ski with a partner, you need to be trained, you need to have the shovel probe, you need to have all the right stuff.
All right, time now is 8:45. It is time to go to Rod on the weather deck. He's dancing. He's in sun. Boom, 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 boom.
Kind of looked like Rocky there.
I know, I was
Like,
gonna say.
at
There
the
you
top
go.
of the steps.
I haven't been up here on a sunny day in a while, and it is absolutely gorgeous. In fact, just mainly some cirrus clouds. Otherwise, we're sunny up here. Not much of a breeze. I mean, it's chilly, but the sun always makes it feel nice. We're up here on the KGW weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. And our forecast headline continues to be the fact that we will be all dry through the weekend into next week. And here's why. This is the setup on the satellite picture. You see clouds up to our north and clouds to our south. We're right in the middle. That's when you hear the forecasters talk about a split flow. That means, you know, a lot of times you just have one flow hitting the west coast, but sometimes you have a distinctive northern flow pattern of fronts and an distinctive lower branch, and that's what we have going on. Those clouds coming up from a low to our southwest are streaming somewhat up into southern Oregon, but reports this morning are that those clouds are pretty thin, so we don't think they're really going to have much of an impact on us. And in fact, our cameras, with the exception of fog in Salem, are just showing a gorgeous morning. Here's Snookwinds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Beach temperatures today will be warming into the 50s. Right now, it is 37 degrees. And here's a look from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. So obviously, that's a sunny view with great visibility looking back to the west of Mount Hood. And 39 with a light wind is your temperature out that direction. The gorge generally expected to be around 50 for a high today as well. Here's the Rose City camera. We never had fog in Portland, just a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. 37 is the start temperature. Other numbers, Kelso sharing 37 with Portland. Salem, colder, and that's no coincidence because colder mornings often are where you will find the fog, and that's been the case this morning. 33 down Eugene as well. 30 over in Bend. It's mainly sunny to partly cloudy out east. 27 is the number out in Baker City this morning. So our forecast, it's just pretty simple. Enjoy a gorgeous day. Be the sunniest day we've had in a while, especially in Portland, where we're getting morning sun and afternoon sun. But in Salem, your sun is coming, much like you saw yesterday, 54 after you lose the fog. Southwest Washington, I'm looking to the north. I just don't see any fog banks at all. Vancouver, 53 and Battleground at 54. And here are the 7-day numbers, so pretty simple weather forecast. Low 50s today, tomorrow, mid 50s for the weekend. We might hit 60 on Monday. I think we'll certainly do it on Tuesday, not unusual for this time of the year. And then we get rain returning Wednesday of next week. And now it is birthday time. All right, our birthday celebration begins with Rose, who is 10 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a wonderfully fun day. There's Quinn, 14 today. Happy birthday. And we have one more today. That's Bill, who's celebrating 68 years young. Happy birthday to you. What's Bill holding there? Brian, can you see? The what now? Brian said it was oranges. I can't see a combination of my old eyes on a small monitor. Holding oranges, okay. Let us celebrate with you. Birthday's at kgw.com, and we will celebrate with you. Chris, it really is a beautiful morning out here, sir.
It looks like it. I call that 7-day a mood lifter. All right, let's get you out here. Over on the west side, we do have some trouble on the Sunset westbound. We'll check that out in a second. First off, I-5 through North Portland, still a little slow. 20 minutes gets you from Main Street. Back out to the west side, this is Highway 26 out near Cedar Hills Boulevard. Looks like TVF&R on the scene there of a fender bender just off the Cedar Hills Boulevard on-ramp to westbound 26. So a little bit of local slowing getting around that. And of course, coming back the other direction, you're staring at the rising sun. So that's probably adding to some of that slowing. That said, the drive times are beginning to drop on that side of town, so that's good. Heads up again today, the Morrison Bridge, several lifts planned as the county does annual bridge inspection. Bridge lifts lasting up to 20 minutes at a time. So if that's part of your commute, and a reminder that does sometimes impact I-5 as well. With the on and off ramp to downtown, there could be some local slowing around that several times throughout the day today. China, Matthew?
Thank you, Chris. All right, it's time to talk Ducks because despite a losing season plagued by injuries, the Oregon's men's basketball team is sticking with head coach Dana Altman. According to a report from ESPN, Oregon fully committed to Altman. The team is 10-17 overall this season, including a 3-13 record in the Big Ten. Now, this is Altman's first losing season in 16 years at the U of O. Altman has taken the Ducks to 9 NCAA tournaments and a Final Four. We'll be back.
I'm David Mulco, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Well, to wrap up our top stories this morning, Portland Public Schools says it's now $10 million short for this budget year. That's on top of a $50 million deficit for next year. PPS says the new budget gap is due to higher than expected safety and transportation. The district plans to pause spending in all budgets, tighten spending in substitutes and overtime, and cancel a professional development day. The FDA has issued a life-threatening recall for 55,000 pounds of frozen blueberries from an Oregon-based company. It's important to note that the FDA says the blueberries were not sold directly to consumers at grocery stores and did not specify exactly where the berries were sold. The Oregon Potato Company first recalled the products on February 12th and has now upgraded it to a Class 1 recall, indicating a risk of serious illness or death. Officials say the fruit may be contaminated with bacteria that can cause severe symptoms such as headaches, loss of balance, and convulsions, and can be life-threatening for some people. And state senators unanimously passed a bill that cracks down on so-called speculative ticketing for things like concerts and sporting events. The bill effectively bans people or websites from advertising selling tickets they don't actually have. Governor Tina Kotek will now decide whether to sign it into law.
All right, weather. Well, I was just up on the KGW weather deck and it is lovely. Sunny skies over the Rose City, 53 this afternoon's high, a dry 7-day through the weekend. Wednesday is our next rain coming in of next week.
That looks really nice. All right, let's get you out the door. We've got a little trouble on the Sunset up in the upper left-hand part of your screen. That's Highway 26 westbound from the Cedar Hills Boulevard on-ramp. TVF&R there with a crash. Not sure if we've got any injuries with that, but you can see obviously there's some local slowing there. Drive times are busy, but they're coming down a little bit. Right now, you're tripping from Troutdale. I jinxed it. It went from 28 back up to 29 minutes.
Wow.
But get it back under there. 28 minutes. Come on.
Wow.
Back to you.
Wow. Nice.
No one human being is as big as Princess Diana was and could do as much good as she could do.
All right, finally on Sunrise, we are digging through our archives from nearly 30 years ago. In August 1997, Portlanders flocked to Pioneer Courthouse Square to grieve Princess Diana's death. We're talking about this today because something special is coming to town. For one day only, Converge 45, in collaboration with artist Rose Selane, will present a public viewing of shoes worn by Princess Diana. There they are. She wore these during a visit to an English school in Indonesia in 1989. It will take place at Pioneer Place on the lower level of the mall on Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. Pretty iconic.
Yeah, indoors, but getting to the mall from your car or Max will be great. The whole weekend's going to be dry and really, really nice.
You may even be able to whip out a nice pair of shoes like that to do that.
Yeah.
That's probably more than all of us
I was gonna.
in a month.
Probably not off the rack.
Well, maybe China.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that, a reminder that you can watch Sunrise every day live here exclusively on KGW Plus starting at 7 o'clock. We also have added another half hour of news at 12:30 and 5:30 right here on Plus. We hope to see you then. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.